The Marvel comics are filled with ancient relics of legendary power. Occasionally, whole story arcs revolve around these relics and the power-hungry individuals who want to take advantage of them. Other times, they're objects that make cameos in stories, acting the part of a deus ex machina, or just appeared in earlier panels, only to be further embellished with greater meaning as time went on. Regardless, all of them are pretty darn cool. So today we are taking a closer look with our list of the top 10 strongest Marvel relics. And at 10, MJÖLNIR. Starting off this list with a relic you all should be familiar with, and at 10 we have MJÖLNIR. It's Thor's principal weapon, which first appeared in Journey into Mystery issue 83 in 1962. Now funny enough, it wasn't the first time that MJÖLNIR appeared in a comic. Back in 1942 in Adventure Comics issue 75, in a Sandman story called The Villain from Valhalla was its first appearance, but it was not a Marvel comic, it was a DC one, and the creators behind it were Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Eventually Kirby along with Stan Lee and Joe Sinnott would establish it as a weapon of the god of thunder, Thor Odinson, spelled differently than the incarnation that appeared in DC Comics. In the Marvel continuity, it was forged by dwarven blacksmiths from the Asgardian metal Uru. It can only be held by someone who is deemed worthy of its power, and it can do a whole lot. It can level mountains, it can create force fields powerful enough to potentially destroy a galaxy, it can manipulate on a molecular level, it is capable of controlling electromagnetism, it can generate geoblasts, thermoblasts, anti-force, and can even travel through planets all to get back to Thor. It's been found capable of creating antimatter particles. It can track a person or mystical items, absorb energy, detect illusions, and is lethal to the undead since it was formerly a religious relic. All in all, it's wickedly powerful, and definitely makes Thor a mighty force. I mean, he is a god after all. There are a few different origin stories for MJÖLNIR found in the comics, with the second iteration being the one the MCU adapted, Forged in a Dying Star, and others like the one in the Mighty Thor series having it conceived from a nugget of Uru that had a sentient storm the size of a galaxy within it, which gave the hammer its power. And at number 9, the Eye of Agamotto. The Eye of Agamotto is yet another familiar relic for those of you who are fans of the MCU. In the comics, this mystical item first appeared in Strange Tales issue 115 in 1963, in a story titled The Origin of Doctor Strange, and is different than the MCU continuity. It doesn't contain the time gem. What it is in the comics though is a weapon of wisdom, radiating powerful mystical light that allows Strange to see through illusions and disguises, to see into the past, and to track corporeal and ethereal beings based on their magic or psychic emissions. It can probe minds, create a mystical shield, and create portals to other dimensions. It can also be used to transport dozens upon dozens of beings from one point in the universe to another, a trick that Strange used when the heroes of the Marvel Universe went up against Thanos in the comics. And at number 8, the Crimson Gem of Cyttorak. The Crimson Gem of Cyttorak first debuted in X-Men issue 12 back in 1965. It also has quite the history. As legend goes, over 1,000 years ago, 8 magical beings of power gathered together, known as the Octessence, and debated over who had the greatest power. So each of these 8 beings made a wager where they had to make a totem that held only a fraction of their power, and the first person who touched it would become an exemplar, living embodiment of that power, and then they'd duke it out with each other until only one remained. Kinda convoluted, right? Well, Cyttorak was one of those 8 beings, with his totem being this gem. This gem turns anyone who touches it into an unstoppable individual, a juggernaut, aka the actual juggernaut. Enter Cain Marko. It would eventually fuse to his body as well. In at 7, the M'Kraan Crystal. The M'Kraan Crystal first appeared in X-Men issue 107 back in 1977. It's a massive pink crystal with unknown origin that contains an alien city within it, with time and space having no meaning within the crystal. At the center of the city, a glowing energy sphere can be found that hosts a neutron galaxy, the nexus point of all matter and antimatter of not only the 616 universe, but all universes and realities in existence in the entire Marvel multiverse. Those who attempt to use the power of the crystal put the universe at risk of destruction. That's where the X-Men came in order to protect it when Daken of the Shi'ar Empire attempted to take hold of it. The Phoenix Force ended up repairing the crystal, saving the universe in the process. And at 6, the Wand of Watoomb. There are 6 wands of Watoomb kicking around the Marvel universe. Capable of near omnipotent power, each one is controlled by the thoughts of its wielder, and its jam is mystical energies. They're used for multiplying, redirecting, focusing, gathering, enhancing mystical energies, and blocking mystical attacks. They've even been shown at times capable of controlling the elements, opening up portals to other dimensions, and can use energy it's absorbed to heal the individual wielding it. Its first appearance in the comics was in Amazing Spider-Man Annual 2 from 1965, and the first of the wands to appear was initially revealed as being broken in half. Dormammu's followers would manage to repair it, with Doctor Strange later seizing it. And at 5, the Evil Eye of Avalon. The Evil Eye of Avalon is a weird one. First appearing in Fantastic Four issue 54 from 1966, first impressions generally are, that thing looks phallic, or That looks like a wacky pink plunger. It was forged with an unknown metal, is pretty much indestructible, and can manipulate matter at the molecular level. In addition to that, it has some serious firepower, being able to shoot concussive force blasts, disintegrate matter, nullify energy sources, and destroy or create force fields. If you didn't think that was impressive, this thing can also allow one to time travel or travel between dimensions. So why isn't it higher up on our list? Because of this one little downside. It has a safety button used to charge it, which, if left in the on position, can cause it to overcharge and it explodes. If it explodes, it breaks into 6 pieces that drive through a planet until they find sunlight. And at number 4, the Cosmic Cube. The Cosmic Cube first appeared in Tales of Suspense issue 79 in 1966, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. These days, fans of the MCU know it better as the Tesseract, which contained the Space Stone. But let's talk about the version of it in the comics. Cosmic Cubes are containment devices created by various different civilizations in the Marvel Universe. They contain reality warping energies of unknown compositions that, often after an undefined period of time, will cause the cube's matrix to become self-aware and evolve into a free-willed being, with its personality being an imprint of those who wielded it as a cube prior. But let's backtrack a little bit here. The first cube to appear in the comics was created by AIM and was capable of transforming any wish into reality, which, yeah, is easy to see why people would want it. And at 3, the Cos Stone. The Cos Stone is a fragment of the Lifestone tree. Landing on Earth after an alien ship carrying it was shot down. It's capable of quite a few tricks, including reality warping to the effect of recreating timelines, matter manipulation, granting immortality, telepathy, energy projection strong enough to take on the likes of an entity like Galactus, and gives its user the ability to fly, an increase in strength and durability, and the ability to grow in size, all of which the upper limits of are still unknown. Compared to some of the other valuable items on our list, it's a relic that appears significantly less, having roughly 28 appearances in the comics, primarily at Nova titles, the New Warriors, and the Fantastic Four. But still, an object that does all of that and makes you immortal? Not too shabby. And at 2, the Ultimate Nullifier. The Ultimate Nullifier first appeared in Fantastic Four issue 50 in 1966, when the Watcher directed the team to it in order to help them prevent Galactus from consuming the Earth. Reed Richards threatened to use it as a last-ditch effort to stop the Devourer of Worlds, which causes Galactus to withdraw. He doesn't want to die, and that's something the Nullifier is capable of. It's been described as the universe's most devastating weapon and has the ability to completely eliminate any target that its user desires. If you don't have the right amount of willpower and focus though, there's a solid chance it'll annihilate you too in the process. The more powerful the mind who has it in their possession, the more potentially damaging it can be. It could destroy an entire timeline or erase one, so no wonder Galactus got his undies in a knot over it. And finally, in at number 1, the Infinity Gems. Buckle up friends, this is going to be a long number. The Infinity Gems have had a few names over the years. Initially they were called the Soul Gems, then the Infinity Gems, and then thanks to the MCU, the Infinity Stones. Regardless of what they're called, when collected together, the Infinity Gems allow the user to become omnipotent, all-powerful, and the master of the mind, power, reality, souls, space, and time. The very first gem, simply called a Soul Gem, appeared in 1972's Marvel Premiere Issue 1. Another one appeared in a Captain Marvel story, which established the existence of 6 gems that all had a special ability. The first time they all appeared together was in a storyline that featured Thanos wanting to use them to extinguish every star in the universe. Thanos would seek them out again in the 1990 limited series The Thanos Quest, referring to them as the Infinity Gems for the first time ever, going around the universe collecting them, which would lead to the famous 1991 Infinity Gauntlet miniseries, in which he used the gems to kill half of the universe's population as a gift to his love, the entity Death. So what exactly are the gems capable of? The Soul Stone allows one to control, manipulate, steal, or alter living and dead souls. It also acts as a gateway to an idyllic pocket universe known as the Soul World. When in possession with the other stones, it can allow the user to have control over all life in the universe. Then there's the Time Stone, which allows the user to not only see into time, but to adjust the flow of it, speed it up, slow it down, age and de-age beings. It can allow the user to be omniscient and have control over the flow of the past, present, and future when combined with the other 5. Moving on to the Space Stone now. It allows the user to exist in any location, move through reality, any object, warp and rearrange space, and alter the laws of physics. And there's the Mind Stone, which allows the user to enhance their mental and psionic abilities, access the thoughts and dreams of others, and combined with the other gems can access all of the minds in existence simultaneously. This gem is the manifestation of the universal subconscious. Next up, the Reality Gem. It allows the user to alter reality, fulfilling whatever wishes they have even if it contradicts with scientific laws, and it can alter reality on a universal scale when combined with the other stones, to the point of even creating alternate realities too. And lastly, there's the Power Stone. It allows its wielder to access and manipulate all forms of energy, enhance their physical strength, durability, or any other superhuman ability, and it boosts the effects of the other 5 gems exponentially. When collected together, the Infinity Gems grant the user omnipotence. Alright, there we have it friends. If you could have one of these relics, which one would it be? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts. If you like this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more Marvel lists just like this one. In the meantime though, thanks for watching friends. I'll catch you on the next video.